edibles. I used to be scared with most of everybody, right? That's everybody's first, because their first experience was somebody gave them a brownie.
It's too much.
That you didn't know what was in it.
You ate the whole brownie.
The first brownie I had, same thing. Nobody told me. They just gave me a brownie. And I'm eating a brownie and I'm going to a party in the Hamptons. I get to the party, bro. I feel like I'm about to die. My heart was beating like this. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. I'm like, I'm about to check out. So I go outside. I'm like, I gotta get my heart rate up. Right. So I go outside and I shadow box. So I'm out there, I'm shadow boxing. The drivers at the party looking at me like, yo, what the is wrong with him, bro?
We had to fight to get a meal. Yeah, wrongfully accused. We had to fight to get appeals. That's why we right to get a deal. He on the team, he gotta eat, you know. Despite your skills, keep it riding for the fam. You gotta light the wheels straight up. But in the past bad, work up in the trash bag. I'll pass a lot to take the test before I pass class. Yeah, and my family needed bread. I had to come correct. That's why I keep airing it out like I just passed gas.
I Am Athlete Parlay is killing it this year.
These are guaranteed wins.
I'm gonna take Arizona over San Fran.
Whoa.
Daniel Jones over Patrick Mahomes at home?
Week 18 NFL parlay.
The Bengals beating Cleveland.
Bro, you can't keep
and the Dolphins beating the Patriots.
You can't keep picking the Bengals, bro. These games, they have to hit.
Oh, they have to hit.
They have to hit. Al, who you got, Al?
I got Kansas City.
Beating who?
Denver.
Okay.
Tampa Bay beating Carolina.
Got that one.
And then Buffalo beating the Jets.
That's why you're a smart man. That's why you're a smart man.
I mean, I'm with Al, but I got Green Bay beating Detroit.
They whooped the Cardinals a couple weeks ago, so I mean.
Yeah, but that ain't gonna last.
Without Hopkins, without Kyler Murray.
And then Tampa Bay's gonna beat Carolina.
Week 18 NFL parlay. I Am Athlete parlay. We got Tampa,
Kansas City, Green Bay.
and Green Bay.
DraftKings.com is the sports book. I Am Athlete is the platform. Parlay, I Am Athlete all day. Promo code athlete. Let's get it.
Really appreciate you coming on the show. We missed you for Christmas, bro. So I got a gift for you. We give everyone this amazing gift box when they come on, Manscaped 4.0. Yeah, you're a big boy.
Yeah, man.
Big boy, right?
Appreciate it. Paul.
All right, these look like they might be able to fit. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
That boy
You gotta send a picture in for the social media page.
Right. Come on, bro. Yeah, just when you get home, put on your Manscaped boxers, take a picture, take it all off.
Like this by
yeah, right. But nah, for real though, you shave?
Yeah, I do, bro.
You do?
Yeah, I'm a fan of this brand.
Really?
Manscaped. I have this, but I ain't got the new 2.0 or 4.0.
Right. Why are you a fan? Why do you shave? Because most dudes don't shave.
I don't know, man. Just, hot summers. You know what I'm saying? Eventually got me to the point where I just wanted to keep it all,
Okay.
try to keep it clean,
I love it. You shave, G?
Depends. Depends who I'm hanging with, what they like. You feel me? Depends. Somebody might want that 80s action.
Man, there you go. Manscaped. Take care of your balls. Your balls gonna thank you later. There you go.
Let me tell you something before these cameras start rolling. I just want to let you know, because me and Brandon were talking the other day. We just happened to, on Thursday, both of us, before I even know I was coming, we watched Selling Tampa. And let me tell you the Chad that I wish the world would have seen. When you found out that she was pregnant.
Oh, it was lit, man.
When I'm saying, but when she FaceTimed you, you were so genuine. There was a side, I was telling B, like, there is a side, nephew, that I saw that like I've never seen before. And I wish they could do a show just with athletes so that America, the world, everybody out there could see this side of you all.
The other side, yeah.
Like, I wish, because you guys are, there's
You mean us.
so much.
You're talking about you all.
Right.
You
Well, they
mean
gonna
us.
see me, because I'm already on TikTok
Right.
acting.
Right.
I'm gonna act up anyway. I don't give a shit. But what I'm saying is, excuse my language, but not really. that moment, I swear I almost cried. And I was like, I hated him because he played for the Bengals. I'm a Steelers fan. Like, I hate him. But when I saw that, I was like, everybody needs to see that side of him.
That was real.
Yeah. And
You about to have another
wish.
baby? God
got like 19 of them
damn.
now.
You not bullshit.
It's 86.
86.
Listen,
He got a football team.
That's
she
what's
got,
up, bro.
She got the nerve to say, I want a boy.
You don't want a boy?
She say she want you 9 months and you mentioning a boy. So, I mean, when people talk about you have another child, they need to be talking to her because she's the reason she's pregnant. It wasn't me. She mounted me in my sleep.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye. She
Yeah.
mounted you in your
She
sleep.
mounted me in my
Goodbye.
sleep.
Auntie.
Hey, they
I
talk
ain't
about all kinds of stuff on this.
I ain't bullshitting. I was asleep. You drove 3 hours to Jacksonville. I'm working. Why are you driving from Tampa to Jacksonville at 2 in the morning? Hey, what Grandma told us when we was growing
say
up.
hello.
Ain't nothing open after 12 o'clock except legs. So why you driving 3 hours from Tampa to Jacksonville? You know I'm working.
She wants.
And
she
then
knows
9
she
months
Well,
later,
you was
we
working,
pregnant.
obviously, because
Huh?
you got another one on the way.
I was sleeping. So everything is her fault.
Everything's her fault.
And women need to learn to take accountability.
We need to take accountability. I like that.
Thank
So
you.
she jumped on you,
I was asleep.
and the whole process.
I was asleep.
So the swimmers were asleep too then.
She used turkey baster.
You know why the show is #1 on Netflix right now, y'all, Selling Tampa. Why it's so successful is because there's so much drama on that show. And there's a lot of backstabbing there's a lot of talking about each other behind their back. And unfortunately, that's not what makes businesses work. But unfortunately, it's what makes reality TV work.
Right.
And I would hate to, because she has built that from ground zero, and I would hate for her business to suffer because of ratings going through the roof.
Well, here's what I would say to that. You know, I saw a different side of Sherelle. Sorry, Al. Welcome to I Am Athlete. This is Al Harrington, everybody. Talking about selling Tampa. We'll get to Al in a second.
I just watched the show last night.
You
for
did?
the first time. Yeah, I seen
Right.
it on
Dope,
TV.
right?
No, so you right here with us. Okay.
Right. So I first,
Maybe
you know,
last
I'm watching it, and we had an opportunity to be around her for a long time because she's on I Am Women with my wife, and that was the first time I seen Sherelle like that business side, militant side come out.
Mean. I call her Miranda Presley.
But I don't think it's mean though, because that goes back to Auntie's point, right? Where you talk about, all right, that can't work in business, it can work on TV. Sherelle ain't about to let that happen. She's a boss. You know what I'm saying? And mean, it ain't mean to me. To me, she understand what it takes to be a unit, what it takes to be a team, because she did it in the military. And so if you ain't on the right page with her, you gotta go. Right. So when she talk about we going from 95-5 to 80-20, she told him our fees gonna change. You gotta get with it.
But she did it because of for you to be talking about it right now,
Right.
for it to be a topic.
Right.
You know what I'm
Reality,
saying? Like,
reality
that's
TV.
just what it is.
Reality TV.
I mean, because if it's all positive, right, there's nothing to talk about, and probably it won't last. Right. It's just it's the reality that we live in right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Drama sells.
Right.
You know, and to your point where you were saying, like, I've always said, like, what if athletes had like their own channel where they could like promote what they do, right? Because we're all, like, to your point, we're all superheroes because of the sports that we play and the way people look at us. But we're all great human beings because we do so many things off the court. But Sports Center is not interested in that. They want to see us get caught drunk driving.
It's the
Or they
gotcha
wanna-
show.
Yeah,
The
that's
gotcha
all they want to
moment.
see. They don't want to. They don't want to ever highlight the positive things that we do.
Yeah, the
You know what I'm
positive
saying?
never sells, and that's
never
the world
sells.
we live in. It's always been that way. The negativity what sells. Drama is what sells. You think about the Shade Room. Why is the Shade Room so goddamn popular?
Right.
As positive as we always talk, everyone preaches about wanting to be. What mother sells?
Right.
Right. Well, I want to jump off this show talking business. I was listening to All the Smoke when you was on All the Smoke with the bros. The whole hour and 30 minutes was phenomenal. You know, you talked about just athletes coming together, and it feels like it's a struggle at times because of the competitive nature that we just inherently have inside of us. But I agree with you the power of us coming together and saying, look, we want to get in this space, let's all come together. Whether it's Dime Life, whether it's your cigars, Cigar 85, right? It doesn't matter. If we come together, I truly believe we can do something disruptive and do something powerful, but it's hard bringing alpha males and alpha females together.
And I think that, to be honest, as much as I thought it was just like we just didn't want to do it, I think it's more of like we just don't take the time to educate ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever Dime Life is or whatever this is, in order for me to want to make an investment or be a partner of it, I have to really go and take a deep dive and learn about it and realize if it's something that, but most times whenever we get a business opportunity, the first thing we do is send it to our advisor. And essentially they make the decision for us. Until we decide to take a vested interest in our own business.
In education.
And educate, everything is education, especially for us in our community, bro. Like our lack of everything that we don't have is because there's no education, no real resources around getting us the significant information to make real decisions.
Preach.
You know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
there's so much we can talk about on the basketball side, but I look up to you because I love basketball. Right. And if I played basketball, I always said my game would have been like yours or like Melo's.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's not why I really wanted to sit down with you. You know, I really wanted to connect with you because of business and the stuff that you're already talking about. How's Grandma Viola doing?
She's doing okay, man. She's, you know, she has dementia. She just turned 90 in September, and then she just got recently diagnosed with bladder cancer. So she's coming to her end, you know what I'm saying? But she still smoke every day.
Appreciate the update and praying for her.
Thank you, man.
Didn't know, you know, she was dealing with that now, but, you know, I just love the story that you tell as far as like your inspiration behind Viola.
Yeah.
You know, your brand, your company. It's a brand now, it's a lifestyle brand, but a lot of people don't really know the backstory and the why behind it.
Yep.
So I want you to tell that story.
Yeah, so now it was in 2010, or 2011, excuse me. My grandmother had come to see me play when I was playing for the Denver Nuggets or whatever. And it was a miracle getting her there just because normally she don't fly, right? If she can't drive or something, she's not gonna go. But I asked her to come and she said, yeah. So she flew out. When she got there, took her bags downstairs. She had me bring her bag back upstairs. So I brought it back upstairs and it was a pill bag. So she opened up the bag and she took like 30 pills, bro. So I'm like, I asked her, my grandma, why you taking so much medication? And she had the list of what all black grandmothers have: high blood pressure, diabetes, a little bit everything, right? But when she said glaucoma, I had told her, I was like, Grandma, I was just reading the newspaper, over the last couple of weeks, how cannabis cures glaucoma. So she finally asked me, she's like, well, what is cannabis? And I was like, it's marijuana weed. And she was like, reefer? She was like, well, I ain't smoking no reefer. She was like, reefer? You really think I'm about to smoke reefer? And I'm like, Grandma, I'm telling you, they said reefer will help your eyes. She's like, no, she laughed. She think it's so funny, right? So the next day I come home from shoot around and she's sitting in the kitchen and she's sitting with her hands in her face like this. And when I walk in, she like looks up and she's squinting at me. She's like, is that you, baby doll? And I'm like, yeah, it's me, Grandma, what's up? She's like, my eyes hurt so bad today, I can barely see. So I said, well, Grandma, why don't you just try the cannabis? I'm like, you in a legal state, is legal, it's not reefer, like doctors prescribe this. So she was just like, I'm in so much pain today, I'll try anything. So I had my boy's name's Bugs. I was like, Bugs, go to the dispensary and bring something for glaucoma. So he brought back a strain called Vietnam Kush, and I also bought a volcano machine, right?
Vietnam Kush, volcano. Yeah, Grandma on the bag.
Because I didn't know how to roll, so I'm like, just bring a thing that she could smoke, and that's what he brings. So we volcano it and take it in the garage. She started hitting it 1, 2, 3 times. But she hitting it, bro, and she blowing it out her nose perfect. So I'm looking at her, and I'm like, Grandma, you sure you don't smoke? I'm like, everybody else be coughing and like, she just blowing. I'm like, all right, so she said she smoked one time when she was 16.
Yeah, okay,
a cigarette.
Grandma.
She said a cigarette.
Right.
She's like, I smoked a cigarette one time when I was 16. So I took her downstairs, I went and took a nap. Hour and a half later, got up from my nap, and I woke and I thought about the first time I smoked. The first time I smoked was with Matt, Barron, and Steven Jackson, right?
Really?
In Phoenix. So I remembered how I felt the first time I smoked. So I said, let me go make sure she okay. So I go downstairs, knock on the door, I don't hear anything. I knock again, I open the door. And when I open the door, her back's to the door, but she's looking down. So I say, Grandma, how you feeling? And she turned around, and no bullshit, she was crying tears. She said, I'm healed. She said, I haven't been able to read the words of my Bible in over 3 years. So she was downstairs reading her Bible after she smoked for the first time. So I went in the room and, you know, she made me cry because she was boo-hooing. So we both crying. I called my mother and she's like telling my mother how, like, you know, everything is so bright and she finally can see again and God gave her sight back. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's what inspired me to like really start educating myself. And it just opened my eyes that, you know, we have been lied to for so long because, you know, we all 80s babies, you know what I'm saying? And we grew up in that Dare era with the Dare dog. And like, I was taught that if I smoked weed, I was gonna end up smoking crack, right? And I mean, I don't think any of us inspired to want to smoke crack, right? So that definitely kept me away from weed until that one time I smoked with the boys because I seen how, you know, how good they were, you know what I'm saying?
But not only that, and I'm pulling off of some of the things that I heard you say, but you said something like 85% of all the drug cases.
Yeah, 85% of drug arrests in our community and black communities is cannabis related. Not cocaine, not none of, like, literally always has been cannabis. In New York just decriminalized like maybe 8 months ago, right? New York drug arrests in the black community is down 95%. Wow. 95%. So bro, they literally use cannabis to lock us the fuck up. It just ends up in our hood magically, but we're the only ones that go to jail for it.
Right. For those that are watching, and we talk about weed, coke, dope, fentanyl, the whole 9 yards. Everything coming in and out is controlled. I'm just throwing it out there. Yes, I used to be a mule for the cartel, and that's all the information I can say. I'm just telling you.
Where you used to hide it?
Huh?
Where you hide it?
I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm just saying everything coming in and out the states is controlled by the higher ups. Just FYI. Just throwing it out there.
Right.
No, I'm being dead serious.
No,
I wouldn't play like that. I wouldn't play that. I'm just
I mean, I think now more information's coming out. Like you said earlier, it starts with education. You know, I know you've been reading a lot and trying to figure out this as well because, I mean, I got my own personal journey with it, and I think I'm in this space now where I need more information. I need to lean on people who understand and get it, but look like me and I can trust.
First time I smoked marijuana, I'm in Utah, and we were on a road trip for 10 days, and so I didn't have anything in my refrigerator. I wanted to come back and get some food in my refrigerator, so I came back, and one of my boys comes out to the deck with me and is like, yo, try it. I'm like, all right, I ain't scared of it. So I was like, right? I felt my lungs was gonna come up. But y'all, and then I was like, there ain't nothing to this marijuana thing. Like, I can do this. It ain't no big deal. I hope I don't get drug tested or I ain't gonna play. Right. And all of a sudden, y'all, the world went to pause, right? Hold up. Y'all, I stood up. I looked in my house, and I was like, his name was Brad. I was like, Brad, you're not gonna do nothing about this? He's like, what? I'm like, bro, they're stealing my TV. No, they're stealing my couch. He's like, Shan, what is wrong with you? I'm like, bro, you don't see them. What are you doing? He was like, there's no one in there. And I'm like, bro, are you kidding me? But I have nothing. I didn't have anything to eat or anything. The only thing that was in there was some eggs. So I hard-boiled eight eggs and eight hard-boiled eggs, right? And they were like, yo, don't ever smoke again. Don't ever smoke again, bro. And so like that was my first time with it, right? But now, like, I watched my mom die of cancer. When I was getting my PhD, I watched my mom die of cancer. I had cancer. 4 of my brothers and sisters had cancer. And just, you know, I'm an academic, so I love to read and I love to be educated. And so knowing the good that cannabis can do, you know, could it have, and then I'm always gonna think, could it have saved her life? Could she be here a little bit more? Would it have helped me more? But I think you're right, and I think it comes with everything. If people are willing to sit down and educate each other, and if I educate you about what I'm doing, then you're gonna buy into what I'm doing. Then we're doing it together, right? No matter what it is, weed, cigars, no matter what it is. And so, you know, I commend you for what you're doing.
Over the last 10 years that I've been in this space, it's grown so much, right? Because like, I'll give you an example, like edibles. I used to be scared with most of everybody, right? That's everybody's first, because their first experience was somebody gave them a brownie.
It's too much.
That you didn't know what was in it.
You ate the whole brownie.
Right? You don't know how the dosage milligram, you don't know what that means.
You
it's done.
You alone for the ride.
Bro,
You
Devon Best gave me a brownie coming back from the last game of the season. This is when I was smoking that year, when I knew I had a problem, I needed help. He gave me a brownie coming back from the Patriots game, last game of the season. Man, I'm on a plane tripping out for 3 hours. Like, yo, y'all gotta get me off this plane.
Yeah.
Everyone like, what's wrong with Pete Marsh? Oh my goodness, bro, I thought the plane was about to drop.
Bro, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
I ate the whole
mad
brownie. They ain't
people
tell me to take a half.
That's how the first brownie I had, same thing. Nobody told me. They just gave me a brownie. And I'm eating a brownie and I'm going to a party in the Hamptons. I get to the party, bro. I feel like I'm about to die. My heart was beating like this. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. I'm like, I'm about to check out. So I go outside. I'm like, I gotta get my heart rate up. Right. So I go outside and I shadow box. So I'm out there, I'm shadow boxing. The drivers at the party looking at me like, yo, what the f is wrong with him, bro? I had to get my heart rate back up. I thought I was about to check out.
So you chose shadow boxing?
Bro, what else was I gonna do? I was gonna run sprints. I just went out there and I just started boxing. And then it's waves though with edibles. So it go high and then you feel like, oh, I feel better. So I'm thinking I go back in, then the room closing in on me. Everybody getting close in, I go back outside. You know what I'm saying? So,
Round two.
But now edibles, we can microdose edibles. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So like you may have had a bad experience, but that don't mean say like, oh, I'm not messing with it forever, because I have a lot of people that's like that. I'm like, nah, now I can give you an edible that's 2.5 milligrams. You know what I'm saying? Like that might give you just a slight buzz, it might not give you nothing, but at least you can build from there instead of taking a brownie that might have 1,000 milligrams in it, and now you on the plane bugging out for 4 or 5 hours.
Or shadow boxing.
Those are dangerous.
I'm the only idiot ain't had alcohol or weed.
So like, come on, bro. You said this. You've been saying this for 15 years.
Man.
I know. I've been around you.
It's
but
weird.
Ever?
Nah. Cause I'm enjoying hearing the stories, but I'm mad I can't be a part of it because I ain't never had no fucking alcohol. I ain't never had no fucking weed.
You never smelled it? You never been around it to smell it?
Of course, it's the environment, my surroundings I grew up in, but I just
I'm
never
smelling right now.
I'm turning. Let me see.
That's crazy.
Really?
That was fun.
You're not curious, nothing?
Nah, never been, especially losing mom to alcohol, and obviously she smoke heavy and look just like that with her paper. She love her paper. I just never did it.
Love a joint, good joint.
I'm hungry. Let's bring out some food real quick. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
You gotta teach us about that too, bro. How we if you smoke, how you fight those urges. What we got, Chef? Thank you so much. Chef, what we got?
Frosted, flake, crusted.
Thanks, Chef.
So you knew Al was coming.
He about to tear it up.
Yeah, you knew he about to tear it up.
That's stinky.
Me too, because I'm over here.
Bro, breakfast my favorite food too.
You knew Al was coming. You knew Al was coming, so you went this way, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So Al, this is Chef Trey. Probably about 2 months ago, we had Chef on the show. He was cooking for us, and he was down all day. I was like, damn, bro, what's wrong? Like, he was like, man, I just lost my grandma. And then he went into the story of grandma and how she inspired him and so many others to get into cooking. So I know your grandma inspired you, your grandma inspired you, and now y'all doing major things, so major connection.
Yes, sir.
Grandmas, man, let me tell you something about what I think, right? And this is like kind of scary to me, right? When I think about our grandparents, like losing this generation is gonna be a major hit.
Yeah, because the grandmas ain't.
Because grandmas ain't the same. Grandmas on Instagram now, wearing see-through outfits for their 60th. It's just different.
Right, you're right.
Like I'm saying, like,
real.
bro, like for me, like, it's gone, bro. And it's so scary for me. And like for me, I feel like it opened my eyes during the pandemic, like being that, me and my family, wife, 4 kids, we live in LA and we have no family in LA. It's just us, right? But my mom is in Indiana, her mother's in Georgia, Viola's in North Carolina. And when I think about like the way we grew up with all our aunts and uncles in one place,
Right.
all our grandparents, so we got that knowledge all the time. For me, it's scary now because I just feel like when they're gone, I'm just like wondering where do we land?
Right. Because let's be honest, it gets crazy. Right. And then there's always that one person, whether it's that uncle, whether it's that grandmother, to be like, no, this is what we're gonna do. Everybody sit down. We have an opportunity right now to really say, no, this is what I want my family to be. Even like something as simple as like Thanksgiving. My wife, she's part Japanese. And so like I'm like, yo, for our tradition, like I know we on our side we do the soul food, but let's add some sushi rolls to it, right? Like something as simple as that. Like we also got to embrace being able to shape what we want our world to be.
Because you can't get caught up in the past, right?
Can't get caught up in it.
I ought to punch you in your face.
Huh?
I
It's
ought to
good,
punch you in
Auntie?
your face for this.
Yeah. You did your thing.
See me back there doing it. I told you it was gonna be like that.
Yeah, you did that.
We can want them to go.
Right. Chef, I appreciate you.
Thank y'all so much.
I like the glasses.
Blessings,
When the website gonna be done?
We're looking at spring of 2022.
Okay, bet. Yeah, he got glasses.
See
all
how the
kinds of-
chefs done changed? The drip done changed. They used to have a little bullshit, little apron on. Man, look, my son got stunners on, all kind of. All right, chef.
My story is a little different. So, I'm originally from Sacramento, California.
Okay. You grew up all around weed.
But hold on, watch this. My stepfather, white. I grew up in my household. I grew up in a house where we had 14 plants in the backyard at all times, and that was for him and his boys.
Wait, plants? Oh, oh. I'm tripping.
Wow.
They used to go up. They used to go up north, come back with U-Haul trucks. So when you talk about how it got in and the access, well, my stepfather was white, so that road was open, and he used to get down, bring it to the, you know what I mean, and used to work it. And but for me, in school, being a part of DARE, this and that, I'm looking at my stepfather, I'm looking at my mom. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. Kids used to come pick me up from football practice. All my friends, man, why your car always smell like this? Why your house smell like this? I was embarrassed. To the even point to where I'm getting educated in DARE because of the stigma that they throwing on top of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I had a negative thought process about weed and marijuana. I get to the league, I get in trouble drinking and driving. I get into the program. So now I can't drink no more, right? So I go like
program tough.
Yeah, boy, it's set up to fail. We gotta do a whole story about the program.
Yeah, you got to
It's set up.
hit it in like in 1 minute, bro.
I can't.
You
I need an
Oh,
hour and a
bro.
half.
Layers to that
I was in
thing.
the program too.
So I go 6-8 months without drinking. I get in the best shape of my life. I'm feeling good. First night I can drink, I go out, I get faded. The next morning I wake up, I feel like trash. So I'm like, damn. You know what, I'm gonna try to smoke. I smoke, I wake up the next day, I had a great time that night, I feel good, I go to work out. Next thing you know, that became my new little routine. So I meet with my financial advisor. It's the first time in my NFL career I made my financial goals in the offseason. And then on top of that, my financial advisor, her child was having seizures and a bunch of things. Couldn't stop it. My assistant started making her cookies. Seizures stopped. The last ended up dying around 12 years old. The last 3 years of her life, though, she lived seizure-free. And then that's when my mind opened it up to the medical benefits of it.
You know, once again, in our community, right, we don't like going to the doctor, right? We don't go and get diagnosed with shit, right? And I tell people, like, the things that we see on a daily basis, you know, we have forms of PTSD in the hood. That's where we live at, bro.
100%.
Like, we deal with it parents fighting. Right. My homeboy got shot right in front of me at school today. Right. Or my man just got killed down. Like,
and I'm supposed to be normal?
And I'm supposed to be normal?
Right.
Or I go to choose to smoke weed to allow me to calm down and relax and just get away from it sometimes. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the real problems and issues. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that if we can have a kid smoking weed instead of dealing with those things, I prefer them. I'd rather them go down that lane.
Where do you see this space in 10 years when we think about cannabis?
I mean, one, I see it federally legal. So I think that at that point, there will be way more use cases for cannabis besides smoking. You know what I'm saying? Smoking is just one part of it. To his point, you pull out THC from it, we're not even talking about anything. So cannabis has over 2,300 use cases that you can actually use hemp for, right? I mean, like if there's a contamination site, they'll plant hemp there, right? To pull all it's a super plant. Like it does so many things. Getting high is just one little thing. Like there's cannabinoids in the plant, right? And these are all different properties that do different things, right? We have an endocannabinoid system. That's why, like, even if you've never smoked weed ever in your life, if they do a blood test on you or whatever, you'll show a trace of THC because we have an endocannabinoid system. What's cool about hemp is that hemp is fire resistant, water resistant, insect resistant, everything. It's like, when I think about projects and things that we want to do to impact our community, I want to start rebuilding our communities that was, destroyed with the plant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because these homes is cheaper, it's quicker. It takes years to grow a tree. It takes 4 months to grow hemp. You understand what I'm saying? So when you talk about 10 years from now, bro, I could just see this thing being in so many different arenas that we're not even really thinking about right now.
Do you really think, like the Georgias, Mississippi's, those states, do you think they'll really legalize marijuana?
Yeah, they have to. It's too much revenue.
But
It's a business. It's not, and that, at this point now, it's too much of a business.
I think what was going to happen, or what other states have figured out, like Denver, they figured out how to monetize on it first before legalizing it. And still, who's getting the biggest pot?
They are.
Right.
So when they figure out, each state figure out how to monetize on it and be able to profit from it, that's when it happens. Same thing with the NFL. So when the NFL figures out a way to monetize on weed and it being legal for players to be able to use it, then it'll be legal.
Follow the money.
That's it. It's always the money. At the end of the day, listen,
Everything's a
NFL
business.
business, it's always about the money no matter what they
Right.
say. One quick thing, had nothing to do with weed. You notice about player safety, right? They always screaming player safety, player safety. Can't hit, don't
First
hit him in the
priority.
head, don't hit him. What era was it that sued the NFL? For what?
It was
Concussions, right?
Wasn't the era right
Our
before us?
era before us, right?
Yep.
So why do you think the NFL had all these rules in place? So we can come back and do what later on?
Soon.
Ain't about no player safety, yes. Yeah,
Right.
that's the line. Okay, we got to cover our asses from now on. So this era can't come back and sue us.
Right.
Or the era, you know what I'm saying?
And that's why I love what we talked about earlier.
Excuse
It's
me,
like
I
you
don't
have-
mean to go there, but
No,
no.
That's
But that's why we
that's
got to
relevant.
educate ourselves, because we always have this conversation on the show about ultra versus science and the food and all of that. But you got to read and you got to know your stuff, which you take the time to do that. Not everybody take their time and do that. But while we're talking about money, can I ask you a real question? You answer it. You a billionaire yet?
Not yet, bro.
Not yet.
I'm working.
You working?
I want to be.
You close.
We gonna get there, bro.
You gonna get there?
Yes, sir.
Yo, this dude
gonna
doing.
get there.
But every time I turn, I love what you did with AI, Strand 96. That's big.
Yeah.
Plate, replay.
Yeah.
There's other brands. You really taken this space, not only understand the medical benefits of it, but also made it into a lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure, bro. We want to be a house of brands, essentially, right? What I'm trying to do is eventually have the infrastructure so that, when, like you said, he's interested today, but when he's ready to turn that, flick that switch, he gonna come holler at me, and I got an outlet for it.
I gotta
You know
holler
what I'm
at you
saying?
too.
So like, yeah, Auntie Strain, like that's my thing. Like I really want to use the platform that I'm building. Yes, $1 billion is cool, right? I didn't make nowhere near $1 billion, but I feel like I've had like all the life experiences I wanted to have. Like it ain't nothing else I ain't, maybe go to space, but I flew private, I did this, been vacations here. We did all that, right? So it's bigger than that now. You understand what I'm saying about the money? I'm thinking more of the legacy, right? I want to be a Hall of Fame basketball player, right? That ain't work out, right? But God had another plan for me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the work that I'm doing now is way bigger than anything I did in the game.
Let me ask you a question. Now you about to turn into my therapist. Bro, you're a phenomenal businessman. You know what I'm saying? Phenomenal. Basketball, everybody know you.
Right.
Still a legend.
Right.
Do you think not making it to the Hall of Fame or not being considered one of the top at your position is one of the reasons why you go so hard? I had 10 goals.
Right.
Like before I lead a league, I'm gonna play 14 years, I played 13. Right? I wanted 1,000+ catch, I had 970.
Right.
I had all these goals, right? Hit on half of them. And I feel like one of the reasons why I go so hard in business is because I didn't hit my goals and all my goals in basketball. Like there's something like missing.
See, now I've never thought about it like that. That might be like an underlining driving thing, but for me, like it's just who I am.
Right.
Right. So my basketball story, I wasn't nice when I was a kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't start playing basketball until I was a freshman in high school, and they made me play just because I was 6'4", right? But I couldn't dunk. I was uncoordinated, the whole thing. But 3 years later, I'm getting drafted out of high school. Yeah. But the work that I put in to get to that point is like who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm a firm believer in that 10,000 hours thing. You know what I'm saying? And then when I got to the league, it wasn't like I made it. I was like, oh, number one, I was the nicest dude in high school. Now I'm the worst player on my team in the league.
Right.
How do I get over that hump, right? And I remember when I went in the locker room, and this is always something that drove me every year to get better, and why I played 16 years, was when I walked in that locker room and I saw Reggie Miller and Chris Mullin and all of them, right? The first thing I thought was I was better than them. I was like, I'm about to bust his ass.
You're right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I remember that, and I remember, like, not that I didn't respect them, but I just was like, I'm better than them. You understand what I'm saying? And I learned quickly that I wasn't, right? But I worked my way to eventually I was, and
right.
then, but that's always what, I always had a conscious reminder that every rookie that was coming in the locker room after me was looking at me like, Al Harrington, I'll bust his ass. Right. And I had to just make sure that they would never bust my ass. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, for me, it was like it's a mindset. And in cannabis, same thing. It was like when I got into the space, you know, celebrity was only celebrity in the game, I think, was like Snoop, but Snoop just puts his name on stuff. He don't really like run anything or anything. And then I think it was Wiz. But when I would walk into these weed rooms, they were just looking at me like I was a celebrity, right? And I'm like, nah, man, I own my company, like I grow. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't just put some money up or they ain't just put my name on it, like I'm doing this. So for me, it was like I had to earn the respect of the dudes in the locker room. I had to earn the respect of the industry at that point. So that's why, like, yeah, on the corporate side, they know who I am because they corporate motherfuckers, right? But on the industry side, like the dudes that's growing in Humboldt, they know me too, because I pull up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so for me, like, to be honest, like, I wouldn't say it's just because I came up short in the league. It's just like, I just want to win. I want to figure out how to win. I'm going to work until I feel what a victory feels like.
There's only a couple dudes that won, and then they said, I'm going to go build this company.
Right.
Kobe Bryant was one.
Right.
Can y'all help me name somebody who won, legend, and then said, I'm going to take the same energy and put it in business? Kobe Bryant is one to stand out.
I guess you
got A-Rod.
Magic on some old.
Okay. Out of all, every year there's 1,700 football players.
MJ.
Yeah, MJ.
But MJ ain't running this company.
Yeah, he ain't ground zero.
Right.
Right. So that's what I mean by that is like, you know, it's like when it all comes down to competition.
But I think, but I also think that, to your point, like if you was a Hall of Famer, this, that, and the third, right? You would think that maybe you might have more infrastructure.
Right.
Because you had to have more people help manage you.
Right.
Right? But because we didn't reach that level, it still got us like, we not afraid of hard work.
That's right.
Like, I'm still willing. I still know, like, I might have to go in there and mop the floor today.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? There's some dudes that ain't mop the floor in forever.
I can't see. I'm sorry. I love what LeBron's doing, but I can't see LeBron James walking into headquarters.
I think a lot of times when you take athletes and they end up becoming successful outside of sports, is to show and prove people, I'm not just a football player, right? Because you do have those guys put their number, their name on the chain, that's who they are forever. And then when the lights go out, they stuck there, right? They just that guy. Then you have other guys that want to leave a legacy and start something. And so when you retire, you start looking and finding different challenges. And I think when you find something that you really enjoy, that you love, and you get that little spark, like I'm actually good at this.
Right.
Now, because the competitiveness between the court, between the lines, now I'm about to be a Hall of Famer in this. It ain't about like I didn't make the Hall of Fame in that. It is now I'm about to be the Hall of Famer in this. And I see that a lot of times with guys that have played sports. But the only way that you're gonna be a Hall of Famer is you gotta be ground zero.
Ground zero.
If you just come in and put your name on it, it's just a licensing deal. You ain't gonna know what's going on with your company. They're gonna give you a little royalty kickback, and that's all you're gonna get.
Right.
But when you come in ground zero, you know it in and out, you can really structure it and build a company. And that's what it seems like you doing. And so I watched the All the Smoke podcast, And you talked about ownership and this and that. And so here's what's going on now. I was talking to B earlier. I've been trying to get into the industry for the last 2-3 years. And now in Florida, it's crazy. There's a lot of new laws that have been established, minority, and companies have come to me because they need a face, right? And I'm like, do I do this deal and be a part of it to be their face and them use my blackness, I just say use my blackness to monetize it, and then I get fed the scraps? Or are you letting me be a part of this and really let me come into the company and be a part of the company?
Because I mean, from an ownership standpoint, we only rep black representation, not minority, because they try to group us in with minority all the time. And I think it should be very specific, black, right? We own less than 3% of the industry. Own less than 3%. And how is that right? You know what I'm saying? But what they do is, to his point, is like they create this, it's called social equity, right? And these social equity programs are meant to give people that was mostly affected by the war on drugs an opportunity to benefit in this space. So the people that are top of the criteria are people that have been recently incarcerated, right? Only made, $30,000 a year in salary, like all the things that people that can't run a business. Essentially, right? Or just would be very difficult to run one. So they give these people these licenses, and then now they got to go find funding. Like it costs, like if you want to stand up a retail store, it's $1.5 million. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care the size of the store, a good number is $1.5 million. If I just came home from jail, or if I've been poverty stricken my whole life, making $30,000, or whatever, who am I gonna go holler at to get 1.5 million?
That's right.
Like who? When you talk about social equity, I'm social equity, right? I'm black. I was affected by the war on drugs. I grew up, my uncle just came home from doing 26 years, drug charges. You understand what I'm saying? But because I played in the NBA, they hold that against me because I have funding. So it's like, you're not truly social equity. This guy just came home from jail, he's really social equity. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that I deserve it over this guy by any means, right? Because there's multiple licenses to be had. But you should definitely give me one because I have the infrastructure to make it successful.
That's right.
Right? Then a lot of these licenses is you have to have like community redevelopment, right? And there's all these guys in there that don't know nothing about our community talking about how they're gonna spend and help the community. I'm just like, that makes no sense.
Right.
Like, it's completely flawed. You know what I'm saying? It's completely flawed. And to his point, it's like, in California, that was where it was the worst. They were giving black people, these bigger companies were giving black people contracts where on paper they owned 51%. But by the time they took all the fees and everything, if you was a $5 million business, you made like 50 grand. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you had all these defaults in it. So by the time, because in 3 years you can actually sell the license. That's how most social equity programs are. You have to own it at least for the first 3 years. But by the time you got to that third year, they had you on a default where now they taking the company from you just for nothing. You never made anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's really messed up, and this is why I always call on trying to figure out how I can put more, black athletes, entertainers, or whatever, like to partner up on these opportunities.
Is it a struggle?
It is a struggle. It's a struggle because I think that number one, something like you just said to me, right? I talked to him about investing like maybe 2 years ago, right? And we had some good dialogue or whatever, but timing wasn't right. But he just said to me, he was like, I know it's too far gone now. I'm done. And I'm like, no. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm like, bro, we in the grind of this thing, dog. Like, this is the beginning stages of the industry. It seems like it's far gone, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's coming to just showing like just how unstable the industry is.
No, I mean, we had Dez on the show, and he was talking about NFTs, and I was like, I don't know nothing about no NFTs, but I'm rocking with Dez.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm rocking with you. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
I'm rocking with you, and I just feel like, and the reason why is because, here's my thing, and that's why I brought up the .com era. The .com era, there was millionaires, billionaires made like that in the .com era. And they say this is the next thing to the .com era. I don't have time to learn about marijuana. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure out how it fits in my lifestyle. But I understand from a business standpoint and the opportunities there that we need to participate in this space. So right now I'm over here in health and wellness. Mental health is my thing. I got this. Come rock with me if you want to talk about mental health. But now we talk about cannabis, marijuana. That's why, I'm so excited. We'll do this after the show, but the replay, the CBD. Because as an athlete, House of Athlete, that fits me.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go start my brand. I'm a partner with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or we're going to figure it out. So, basketball. We can't have you here without talking about some basketball. Bro, what's the difference between Reggie Miller and Steph Curry?
Release.
Ooh, you that basketball expert? He's release.
I'm gonna say release. He's definitely a better shooter, but Reggie just came up during the time I played with Reggie. Like he couldn't shoot threes. Like it was not that he couldn't, but it was like the ball had touched Rick Smith's hands, come back out before he shot a three. Reggie just didn't dribble up the ball and just shoot a three or kick out three. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So
He couldn't take a dude off the dribble
and
just
shoot a
pull
three.
up. No.
Right, that wasn't Reggie game anyway.
Right,
Reggie
right.
ain't have handle like that. But you know what I'm saying? So Steph is definitely a better shooter. But if Reggie played in this era where it was so many threes shot, I think Reggie probably would have made another 1,500 threes or something crazy, right?
Right.
I mean,
That's a good point.
because Curry taking 12 a game, Curry taking 12 a game, Reggie, the most he probably took in the game was three. Maybe 4.
Serious?
That's it. Back in the day.
That's it?
That was it. On the average.
And
Now, some games he get hot, maybe, but
He had 3 or 4 a game?
bro,
When they were saying back then the average for an NBA team was
13.
5.
Yeah, it was something
and then it went up to
crazy.
12.
when I was in the league, if I remember correctly, bro, our goal was take 15 threes and 62s. So 75 shots in the game.
So back then, everything was basically in the paint, mid-range.
Everything.
Absolutely. Who's your GOAT? Men and women.
Michael Jordan.
Oh, that was quick.
And on the women's side, I'm a big fan of Candace Parker.
Candace Parker. Why?
So those are my 2 GOATs.
She the greatest of all time?
I mean, that's why I'm putting her.
Over
Cheryl Swoops.
Yeah, Cheryl. I know she's gonna say Cheryl.
Taurasi, look, with me, the greatest of all time means all time, like including back then and now. Like Taurasi couldn't guard Cheryl Swoops. Cheryl Swoops could guard Taurasi. I mean, they were even going at Taurasi in the final. Chicago was going at her this year because she can't play no defense. She can shoot, but Cheryl Swoops,
it's different.
she was different. She.
I like Candace.
Candace
I like
can play.
Cheryl.
Now,
Cheryl was
Candace
cold,
can
though.
play. Candace can
I
play.
just like Candace because she's bigger and can do more.
Right.
And still, you know what I mean? And
But she ain't the scorer that
she's not the
that,
scorer
that
she is.
Cheryl is.
That's true.
So why you threw out MJ quick though?
I mean, come on, bro.
No, I mean there's
Any era, he dominated.
LeBron
Any era,
can dominate any era too.
he can.
Big
But not like that cat, son. That cat different,
I
bro.
think that
Just
MJ
different. He never lost at that level, bro. He just.
You
Real
think,
quick,
but
let
you
me give
think
you
you
my
biased? Do you think you biased because
No, I
you
love
grew up
LeBron.
and you
LeBron
watched
is
him?
LeBron is 1B. But I'm gonna tell you the difference between Michael Jordan era and LeBron era. Michael Jordan came up in the era where everybody hated each other. They did not f with each other. There was no homeboys in the off season. There was no let's go to the clubs in the summer and go holler with some chicks. It was none of that. Them lived in their own bubbles, and when they played, it was war.
It's war, yeah.
LeBron has dominated an era of his little bros. They all his little bros.
Right.
Everybody.
Fans.
Who he had it with? Who? What star has LeBron had it with? What team has LeBron had it with?
Celtics.
Come on, man.
Draymond?
He lost too.
Yeah, but him and
Celtics,
Draymond
who
really good.
else?
They
You said
tight, though.
He lost too.
Right.
Draymond what?
They cool.
They
Him and
cool.
LeBron,
They talking about they
like
kick it.
that.
Yeah, they bros. And I'm not saying they don't compete. They compete. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
Niggas hated Jordan, dog. I'm telling you, talk to Isaiah right now. Put Isaiah in his chin. Ask him
Still.
what he think about Michael Jordan, bro.
Right.
He like, if he died, I wouldn't care.
Right.
Ask Larry Bird what he think about Michael Jordan, bro. Ask any of these stars about what they think about LeBron. That's a homie. Oh, Bron, yeah, what? Hell yeah.
Right.
Do you think who do you think would be more successful? Michael now or LeBron then?
He's so physically imposing though.
Yeah, I think I told him last week. I said I think that Michael is probably the greatest player. I think Kobe's the greatest scorer of all time. I think LeBron is the most dominant because he can dominate from 1 to 5.
Right.
And I think that Steph is the greatest shooter of all time.
Of all time. I agree with that.
But back to the question.
I think I'm going all Mike. I just think that, like,
It's something that people will never throw in is it.
That's what I was gonna say. It's the mindset.
He was godlike. He was godlike
you
on
can
the court,
have,
bro, for real.
If you got 10 different criterias, you can have 9 boxes checked, but it ain't checked. You can have 7 checked and one of them be it, and you in the game. And so, you know, I grew up in the Michael Jordan era, and when I look at Jordan, you know, I played with Champ. I get asked the Champ, Deion, the Woodson, you know, all these different things, and you know, I'm always take Champ because that's my dog, and I played with him. But when I look, Deion had it. What is it? I don't know. It's it. It's a feeling. It's an aura when it come on, right? Yeah. I watch Space Jams with Jordan. I watch Space Jams with Bron. I watch Bron commercials. Some of them is good. It's just, for me, it was something that Mike had, and a lot of it too, because I grew up singing the songs, playing whatever. But he has it, and there's certain guys in their selective sports where you have a handful of guys where their talent, their stats are very, very close, but then this other guy just got it. And so I get into this with my brother all the time. And I tell him, I said, the reason I would go Mike, I said, if Mike played himself, he could figure out a way to beat himself. If LeBron played himself, I don't think he could, because he ain't never played nobody that's big, strong, fast, and as dominant as him. So I said, Mike.
We're gonna disagree on that one.
I said, who physically? Wait. LeBron has never gone against anybody physically like himself. From what I see and what I know and what I've heard from Mike and his competitiveness, I feel like Mike would figure out a way to beat himself. Because Mike has win against bigger, stronger, more dominant. He's win against whole teams that try to just knock him out.
But that's what LeBron doing now against bigger.
But he's bigger, stronger, and fat. Listen,
but there's bigger, stronger athletes
now.
Look, when I play,
y'all see that? You see
no
the little video with
But I'm just saying, I think
physicality,
LeBron has. First of all, if you're doing what he's doing right now at the level that he's still doing it at 36, about to go to 37. There's nothing you can tell me. I don't know much about basketball.
He spends $2 million a year on his body.
But and that's fine. How he gets there, you know how he gets there. It is what it is. Right. But he's still doing what he's doing at the level that he's doing.
No, you're talking about longevity.
At 36, but that's still part of it.
You talked about what
the greatest of all time is longevity.
Wait,
that's
hold on.
all time.
But Mike came back and averaged 25 at 40.
No, but Mike, look what if LeBron was playing on a team that he needed to average 45, he would average 45.
But I mean, he was still 40 years old, so I mean, I'm saying he was still 40 and 41 years old, to your point.
But he wasn't dominating.
But he could.
But
he wasn't dominating at that age.
He wasn't dominating at 40.
But I think LeBron still got
to give you an example. Look, B.
They're a little too big. I was like,
B, we probably all was there. So when you spoke about me in high school, here was the formula in high school. If you were smaller than me, I was going to run you over.
Right.
If you was my size, I was going to run past you.
That's it.
I never played against a me. So I don't even know what it would look like. Right. And that's what I feel like LeBron is. If you LeBron size.
You like how he just put himself in that category?
No, that's cool, bro.
We had to fight to get a meal. Yeah, wrongfully accused. We had to fight to get appeals. That's why we right to get a deal. He on the team, he gotta eat, you know. Despite your skills, keep it riding for the fam. You gotta light the wheels straight up. But in the past bad, work up in the trash bag. I'll pass a lie to take the test before I pass class. And my family needed bread, I had to come correct. That's why I keep airing it out like I just passed gas.